What if your greatest failure was already known by Jesus? Peter promised he would never deny him. Peter was absolutely certain. He believed his faith would never fail. Even if everyone else fled, he would stand beside Jesus. Jesus already knew what would happen. Before the rooster crowed, Peter would deny him 3 times. The room fell completely silent. The night grew darker. Jesus asked his disciples to watch and pray. But Peter could not stay awake. Then everything changed. Judas returned with armed soldiers. The moment of betrayal had arrived. Prophecy was unfolding. Peter reacted without thinking. He reached for his sword. He believed he was protecting Jesus. But this was never God's plan. Jesus stopped the violence. He reached out with compassion. Even his enemies witnessed mercy. Peter stood there in disbelief. Jesus surrendered without resistance. The soldiers arrested him. Fear spread through the disciples. Peter followed, but from a distance. Peter couldn't walk away. He needed to know what would happen. So he quietly followed Jesus. Pressure was building. Then one simple question changed everything. Peter became afraid. His first denial had begun. Fear was growing. Peter denied Jesus again. The truth became harder to face. His courage was fading. One final accusation came. Peter denied Jesus again. Then the rooster crowed. Everything changed. Peter remembered every word. Jesus had warned him. Now he understood. His heart was broken. Peter could not bear the guilt. He ran into the night, and he wept bitterly. Everything seemed lost. Then Jesus turned. Their eyes met. Peter remembered everything. Grace was still there. Peter walked away. His heart was shattered. He believed he had failed forever. But God was not finished. While Peter wept alone, Jesus stood on trial. False witnesses surrounded him, yet he remained silent. Morning arrived. Jesus stood before Pilate. He was completely innocent, yet the crowd demanded his death. Pilate offered a choice, Jesus or Barabbas. The crowd chose Barabbas. Jesus stood without protest. Pilate knew the truth, yet he feared the crowd. He washed his hands. Jesus was condemned. Jesus endured the suffering. He never fought back. He chose love over revenge. Everything was for us. They mocked the true king. They laughed without knowing. Love remained silent. Prophecy was unfolding. Jesus carried the cross. Step by step, he carried our burden. Love never stopped. Jesus grew weaker. A man named Simon stepped forward. Together they carried the cross. Hope continued its journey. He reached Golgotha, the place of the skull. The final sacrifice was near. He came willingly, lifted the cross. Jesus gave everything. Love was nailed to the cross. Salvation had begun. Darkness covered the land. Creation stood in silence. The world watched its Savior. Hope was hidden for a moment. Jesus finished his mission. Love had overcome sin. He gave his final breath. The sacrifice was complete. One man found courage. Joseph came to Pilate. He asked for Jesus' body. Hope was not buried. Jesus was laid to rest. A borrowed tomb became his place. The stone was sealed. The tomb was sealed. Roman guards stood watch. Everything looked finished. But heaven was preparing a miracle. The third day arrived. Death could not hold him. Jesus rose in victory. Hope was alive forever. Jesus called Peter once again. Grace replaced every failure. Love restored a broken heart. A new mission had begun. Peter never forgot that night. God's grace made him fearless. The man who denied Jesus now proclaimed him boldly. His greatest failure became his greatest testimony.